Good evening. You're watching State of Business on our television. This is Zeenat Musafir. Let's take a look at the headlines first. Main cause of oral cancer is negligence, states Professor Ruwan Jaisinghe. Vehicle importers raise clarion call for collective action from authorities. News in details. A media briefing organised by the Ministry of Health, Nutrition and Indigenous Medicine under the National Cancer Control Programme was held in Colombo this morning. Addressing the gathering, Professor in Oral Medicine and Radiology of the Department of Oral Medicine and Periodontology, Professor Ruwan Jaisinghe, highlighted that oral cancer is mainly caused by negligence and can easily be prevented if proper measures are taken to increase awareness of the condition among individuals of all age categories. Professor Ruwan Jaisinghe made the following remarks during today's press conference.
මුඛපිලිකාව කියන්නේ එහෙම දෙයක් නෙමෙයි. මුඛපිලිකාව කියන්නේ හේතු කාරණා මත ඇතිවෙනා වූ පිළිකාවක්. දුම්කොළ මොනම ආකාරයෙන් ගත්තත් දුම්කොළ පුවක් සහ මධ්‍යසාර අවභාවිතාව කියන හේතු කාරණා මත ඇතිවෙනා වූ පිළිකාවක්. මුඛපිලිකාව කියන්නේ පහසුවෙන් දකින්න පුළුවන් තැනක තියෙන පිළිකාවක්. මුඛපිලිකාව ඇති වෙන්න කලින් අපිට පූර්ව පිළිකා තත්ත්ව පෙන්눔 කරලා මේ රෝගය ඇති වෙන්න යනවා කියලා අපිට අනතුරුවක් වීමක් කරන. ළඟදී කරපු පරීක්ෂණය මේකේ වාර්තාව අපි පළ කරලා තියෙනවා. අවසාන අවස්ථාවේ තියෙන මුඛපිලිකාවක් ප්‍රතිකර්ම කිරීම සඳහා සාමාන්‍යයෙන් දල වශයෙන් එක්තරා රෝගියෙකුට රජය දරනවා ලක්ෂ 5කට කිට්ටු මුදල. 4,30,000ක මුදලක් වියදම් කරන්න ඕන. මේ 4,30,000න් 4,25,000ක් විතරම වියදම් කරන රජය.
Meanwhile, representative of the National Cancer Control Programme, Dr. P. Jayasekara, made the following remarks.
2011 වාර්තා අනුව තොල මුඛ කුහරය සහ ග්‍රසනිකා වාසිත පිළිකා 2,558ක් වාර්තා වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ දිනකට රෝගීන් 7 දෙනෙක් වාර්තා වෙනවා. එයින් වැඩි හරියක් 80%ක් පමණම පිරිමින් 493ක් කාන්තාවන් 2013 වෙනි වාර්තා අනුව මුඛ පිළිකාව නිසා 1,150 දෙනෙක් මිය ඇදිලා තිනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ දිනකට 3 දෙනෙක් මිය යනවා. ඉතින් ලේසියෙන් වළක්වා ගත හැකි පිළිකාවක් එවැනි තත්යකට පත්වීම ඉතාමත් කනගාටුදායකයි.
During a media briefing held in Colombo recently, the Vehicle Importers Association of Sri Lanka emphasized upon the need of looking into several existing issues which are detrimental to the vehicle industry. The association pointed out that vehicle dealers had an unfair advantage as new vehicles imported by parallel importers did not receive the applicable brand new status despite the vehicles not being previously used. VIASL also urged the authorities to consider this matter not just because agents enjoy a tender monopoly, but because the government was being forced to purchase certain vehicles at a higher price. With the depreciation table being abolished, traders who import vehicles which are up to 3 years old are also required to pay the same tax as that imposed on brand new vehicles. Thus, the association called on the authorities to urgently look into this matter as well. VIASL also denied claims of its members paying low tax for brand new vehicles by pointing out that the tax on a vehicle is based on the engine capacity, and the engine capacity tax was mainly instituted by the Finance Ministry with a view to prevent errors in calculating import tax based on valuation. We're going in for a short break. Do stay tuned for more news after these commercials. Welcome back. Addressing an event in Colombo recently, the charge d'affaires of the European Union to Sri Lanka and Maldives, Paul Godfrey, highlighted that Sri Lanka should make more efforts to eradicate corruption and to reduce government red tape, which has become an obstacle in advancing business confidence and investor sentiment in the country.
And Sri Lanka will need to look at the questions of unique selling point and of added value when it comes to carving out its niche. That also goes for the wider economy. If the government's to achieve its ambition of Sri Lanka becoming a regional hub for the South Asian region, and a very laudable ambition that is, there needs to be clear advantages for businesses in basing themselves in Sri Lanka. A number of important facilitating measures have already been taken, but it's unfortunate that those reforms haven't yet impacted significantly on the perception of the business environment in the country. As we can see from the position in the Transparency International Corruption Index, the World Bank Ease of Doing Business Index. Implementation of existing measures and consistent, concerted and serious action to address the dual perils of corruption and red tape will be needed if there is to be clear blue water, in business terms as well as in geography, between Sri Lanka and its neighbours.
Now let's take a look at the weekly economic indicators released by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka last Friday. During the period, crude oil prices showed mixed performance. Crude oil prices fell at the beginning of the period as the U.S. Energy Information Administration reported that U.S. shale oil output is expected to hit record high in August and due to increased U.S. crude inventories. Subsequently, prices rose over unexpected fall in U.S. gasoline and distillate stockpiles, and Saudi Arabia's statement that their exports are likely to fall by 100,000 barrels per day in August. Overall, Brent and WTI prices fell by $2.3 per barrel and $0.9 per barrel, respectively, within the period. Weekly average weighted prime lending rate for the week ending 20th July 2018 increased by 8 basis points to 11.42% compared to the previous week. The reserve money increased compared to the previous week, mainly due to increase in currency in circulation. The total outstanding market liquidity increased to a surplus of 33.47 billion rupees by end of the week, compared to 24.77 billion rupees by the end of last week. During the year up to 20th July 2018, the Sri Lanka rupee depreciated against the US dollar by 4.5%. Given the cross-currency exchange rate movements, the Sri Lanka rupee depreciated against the pound sterling by 1.3%, euro by 2.0%, and Japanese yen by 4.7%, while appreciated against the Indian rupee by 2.9% during the period. We're going in for a short break. Do stay tuned to see how the stocks perform today after these commercials. Welcome back. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The All Share Price Index dropped 6.49 points to close at 6,184.68, and the S&P SR20 dropped 2.77 points to close at 3,397.66. The turnover was 238.3 million rupees and 10.3 million shares were traded. Next is Forex rates. That's all the news we have for you today. Join us tomorrow with State of Business on our television at the same time. Until then, take care and good night.